War has proven to be an unfortunate part of human existence, and as time goes on, military technology is always becoming more sophisticated. With fewer boots being put on the ground, the military has relied more and more on its Air Force and Navy. So join us as we take a look at 15 incredible military aircraft. Number 15. JF17 Thunder. The JF-17 is one of the best fourth-generation light fighter designs out there. Built for dogfights, the light design allows it to perform a multitude of combat maneuvers should the need arise. They're also armed with a diverse array of weaponry, including air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles, anti-ship missiles, and a 23mm twin-barrel autocannon. The JF-17 is not to be trifled with. Also known as the FC-1 Jiaolong, the aircraft was developed by the Pakistani and Chinese Air Force and is the main workhorse of the arsenals of each respective country. Not to be outdone, though, the JF-17A Block 3 variant went into production in January of 2021. This new and improved model will offer the most advanced avionics, helmet-mounted display, and new radar, just to name a few upgrades. Number 14. Sukhoi Su30SM. The Sukhoi Su30SM is one of the more recent developments of the Russian Air Force. Another fourth-generation aircraft, the Sukhoi Su30SM features new radar and weapons systems that makes it one of the best aircraft out there for air-to-air and air-to-surface confrontations. It also packs Onyx, or supersonic anti-ship missiles, and serves as the basis for the BrahMos supersonic missiles. Depending on the altitude, the Onyx have an operational range of 120 to 300 kilometers. If you're on the wrong side, this is not the type of aircraft you want to see overhead. In total, it can carry up to 8 tons of weapons payload. This new model is so popular that other countries such as India, Vietnam, and Armenia have added the freighter to their roster. The Su-30SM's most prominent feature has got to be the state-of-the-art thrust vectoring system, which allows the jet engine nozzle to rotate, giving the pilot maneuverability like no other. Number 13. Boeing F15EX. If you've ever flown commercial, then you're definitely familiar with Boeing. But what about their line of military aircraft? Well, Boeing has developed their F15EX for the United States Air Force and is a variant of the F-15 Strike Eagle. This variant comes with a new control system and high-tech weapons capabilities, such as its infrared homing air-to-surface missiles and laser-guided bombs. This is a major upgrade for the aircraft that played a prominent role in the U.S. missions during the War on Terror. The F-15EX has taken part in calculated airstrikes against high-value targets, combat air patrols, and provided close air support for coalition troops. In 2021, the United States authorized the sale of the F-15EX to foreign allies, but it has been a game-changer for the country's overseas operations. Number 12. U-2 Spy Plane. Moving back a few decades, we have the U-2 spy plane. While perhaps a more antiquated entry on our list, this incredible plane was pivotal in the evolution of military aircraft. While the prototype took flight in 1955, it gained prominence by the United States Air Force after World War II. Nicknamed Dragon Lady, the U-2 was used to gather intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance in numerous conflicts and points of tension for the United States around the globe, specifically in the 1960s. This is a one-seat, high-altitude, long-endurance plane that was the perfect model for spying on overseas enemies. The final plane in the U-2 series was built in 1989, and in more recent years it's been modified to operate in the Earth's atmosphere to collect data on the planet and celestial phenomena. Number 11. Chengdu J20. Fittingly nicknamed the Mighty Dragon, the Chengdu J20 is China's most advanced fighter jet to date. It's the second fifth-generation fighter jet to enter service in the world, which is impressive considering China's history of developing their own advanced fighter jets doesn't reach back very far. The J-20 employs the latest in stealth technology and houses an impressive weapons bay. Much of the formation regarding the aircraft has been kept a tight secret, but it's been reported that although it doesn't have any auto or rotary cannon, it does have space for both short and long-range air-to-air missiles. The design of the aircraft allows for the missiles to be fired in the shortest amount of time possible, allowing it to avoid any radar detection. The Chengdu J20 is one incredible military aircraft that you won't see coming. Number 10. Supermarine Spitfire. First seen in World War II, the Spitfire was the crown jewel of the Royal Air Force. This iconic, pure performance craft was pure nightmare fuel to enemies on the battlefield. It could fly higher, faster, and for longer, and its photo reconnaissance capabilities helped to turn the tide of the war in the Allies' favor. The Spitfire is a direct descendant of racing planes with 8 wing-mounted machine guns and a Rolls-Royce engine. It was able to fly at speeds of up to 440 miles per hour and could reach altitudes of up to 34,000 feet. These were the choice aircraft of the British to shoot down Nazi fighters, bombers, and their V-1 flying bombs. They gained international prominence during the Battle of Britain, when they boasted an incredibly high victory-to-loss ratio and became an enormous burden for anyone who dared to engage in a dogfight with one. Number 9. B-52. Nicknamed the Stratofortress and the Big Ugly Fat Yellow, the B-52 bomber is a sight to behold as it roars through the skies. Designed by the Boeing company for the U.S. Air Force, and with its first flight in 1952, the B-52 has a wingspan of 185 feet and uses a whopping 8 jet engines to travel at speeds just under Mach 1. It is truly a behemoth of the skies. Designed for long-range missions, this massive bomber carries a crew of just 5 people and has no onboard defense capabilities, but can carry up to a whopping 35 tons of payload. While it was originally meant to carry nuclear weapons over the former Soviet Union during the Cold War, this incredible military aircraft has withstood the test of time by being a veteran of multiple wars and is expected to serve the United States until 2050.
We are constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button.
Number 8. Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II is the newest product from the F-35 line. While its predecessors were plagued by all kinds of issues, plenty of flight tests, training flights, and $1.5 trillion later, the United States Air Force was able to design one of the most capable fighter jets today. It's a single-seat, all-weather stealth craft with reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and surveillance capabilities. The F-35 Lightning II can carry up to 9 tons of weapons ordnance, including air-to-surface and air-to-air missiles, both unguided and laser-guided bombs, and cluster munitions. Despite it being a stealth plane, it packs quite a punch. It also carries onboard systems that can act as laser missile jammers to protect it against infrared homing missiles. This also makes it the perfect aircraft for ground support, as it also has a 20mm cannon on board. Never leave home without it. Number 7. Dassault Rafale. Developed by the French company Dassault, the Rafale is an impressive multi-role aircraft that can perform deep air support, maintain air supremacy, aerial reconnaissance, ground support, and even nuclear deterrence. The aircraft was designed after France withdrew from the joint European fighter jet programs due to disagreements with other countries. Since then, France replaced its older Mirage fighters with the higher performance Rafale. This model has avionic features like its direct voice input, active electronically scanned array, an infrared search and track system that are specific to the Rafale and aren't found on any other aircraft. The Dassault Rafale has become so popular, in fact, that India, Qatar, Greece, and Egypt have placed orders for the aircraft, with other countries quickly adding their name to the list as well. Number 6. Eurofighter Typhoon. One of the top 4th-generation multi-role fighters in the world right now has got to be the Eurofighter Typhoon. The Typhoon is so popular that it's used by Great Britain, Germany, Qatar, Italy, and Kuwait, just to name a few. It was a joint effort from the development teams at BAE Systems, Leonardo, and Airbus, and it's one of the most advanced fighter jets to be manufactured in Europe. While older models are constantly being improved upon, it's the Tranche 3 that stands out above the crowd. The Tranche 2 model comes with new electronics, radar, and defense systems, and has a much better air-to-air and air-to-ground capability. And while it's a formidable dogfighter, its specialty has got to be the enhanced antenna modifications that allows it to jam low-band frequencies and missile protection radar. If this thing is flying somewhere in the skies with an enemy, chances are they won't know it until it's too late. Number 5. The BF109 Fighter. Although it fought on the wrong side of history, there's no denying that the German BF109 Fighter was an important and incredible military aircraft at the time. World War II marked a new era of military aviation, and the BF109 Fighter was at the forefront of the change at the time. Dating back to 1937 and participating in the Spanish Civil War, the BF109 Fighter came on the scene with half-inch machine guns that shot down plenty of Soviet monoplanes and biplanes. It also had interplane radio that allowed it to control formations during air-to-air combat, which at the time was not a commonly used tool. It would later receive large barrel machine guns and cannons to combat the British Spitfire. And while the BF109 Fighter was an inferior fighter at higher altitudes, it was still quite formidable against Allied forces at the lower and medium altitudes against ground forces. Number 4. Mitsubishi Zero. Another World War II-era monoplane, known as the Mitsubishi A6M Navy Type 0, or more commonly Mitsubishi Zero, was used to great effect by the Empire of Japan. It was originally designed by Chief Engineer Horikoshi Jiro when he was still in his early 30s, and was the first carrier-based fighter capable of taking on its land-based opponents like infantry and tanks. The Zero reached a top speed of 350 miles per hour, flew to an altitude of 20,000 feet, and was armed with larger 8mm machine guns and two 20mm cannons on the wings. It was also able to carry two 132-pound bombs under the wings. When the Zero first debuted on the battlefields, it outmaneuvered every fighter it encountered, and its external fuel tank could be dropped when it was empty, allowing it to fly farther and faster than anything else. It was the most formidable aircraft in the skies until 1943, and unfortunately many were repurposed as kamikaze craft near the end of World War II. Number 3. Saab Gripen E. When you hear the words military aircraft, very rarely does the country of Sweden come to mind, but they've still managed to create an affordable yet versatile and lethal fighter jet, the Saab Gripen E. The most prominent feature of the recent Series E is perhaps the fact that it's been configured for the rapid insertion of new hardware and software updates for each new mission. The computers themselves can be swapped out almost on the fly, allowing for the Gripen E to constantly evolve and keep up with new software and technologies. The goal here is to make the most adaptable and battle-ready fighter jet in the world. The pilot can fight on day one of a conflict, make the proper adjustments, and implement applications into the software to make it ready and even more lethal for day two. Updates can even occur mid-flight, and this type of fighter is helping to usher the age of digital aircraft. The payload is also increased on the Saab Gripen, allowing it to carry up to 7 Meteor air-to-air missiles, and comes with a 360-degree missile approach warning system. We're sure that the Saab Gripen E will expand to international markets as more and more countries catch wind of its capabilities. Number 2. Northrop Grumman B2A Spirit. Better known as the stealth bomber, this heavy strategic bomber is another aircraft first designed by the United States during the Cold War, meant to deploy not just conventional weapons, but thermonuclear weapons as well. That means it can carry up to 80 500-pound class-guided bombs or 16 2,400-pound B-83 nuclear bombs. But no matter what it's carrying, the B2A Spirit is one of the most well-known military aircraft to date. But not only can it carry a heavy, lethal payload, but it also features low observable stealth technology used for penetrating dense anti-aircraft defenses, and it's the only known aircraft that can carry large air-to-surface standoff weapons in a stealth configuration. You literally won't see it coming until it's too late. The aircraft comes in at a whopping 200 tons, and despite the weight, it is still a long-range striker capable of flying 6,000 nautical miles before refueling. And what may be even more incredible is the B2A Spirit's price tag. To build the aircraft, including onboard equipment, spare parts, and software, runs the U.S. Air Force a whopping $2.13 billion per aircraft. Number 1. Rockwell B1B Lancer. Another jet used by the United States Air Force, the Rockwell B1B Lancer is more commonly referred to as the Bone. The Bone's onboard computer is the same one used in the B-52 and even the U.S. Space Shuttle. It comes with plenty of defense systems like radar warning and jamming equipment, a missile approach warning system, and 8 of the largest infrared countermeasure flare dispensers in the world. And of course, a fighter with that many countermeasures has to be equally as dangerous. The B-1B Lancer can carry up to 8 air-launched cruise missiles, or 24 short-range attack missiles, and up to 84 500-pound conventional bombs, or 24 nuclear bombs. In total, it can carry a payload of up to 75,000 pounds, while still being able to climb to altitudes of up to 40,000 feet, reach speeds of just over Mach 1, and fly for 4,600 miles without refueling. Since its debut in 1986, it's garnered over 50 records, and as of 2021, it's one of 3 strategic bombers in the U.S. Air Force fleet, It truly has become one of the most incredible military aircraft speeding through the sky.
Watch our Vehicles playlist for more top 15 videos about amazing vehicles. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best vehicle videos.